This Black Friday, break from the bland. Sensation curates wines that tell a story, crafted by passionate, independent producers who redefine exceptional. Now through December 2nd, enjoy 20% off select wines and complimentary ground shipping. Discover what's waiting beyond the expected. Shop now at sensation.com. Exclusions may apply.
Hello, and welcome to the Wine Enthusiast Podcast, your serving of drinks culture and the people who drive it. I'm Maria Yagoda, Senior Drinks Editor here at Wine Enthusiast. Today we're talking about all things Disney adult beverages, specifically the very best boozy treats you can find across Walt Disney World, the hidden gems, the coolest happy hours, and even the most unexpected places for great wines. I'm joined by two professional Disney adults. AJ Wolfe, the New York Times bestselling author of Disney Adults and the founder of Disney Food Blog, and Shay Spence, a food and travel content creator who specializes in Disney, theme parks, and cruises. You don't have to be a Disney adult to enjoy the growing wine and spirit scene at Disney World. Listen to learn more about Disney's hidden gems for wine, beer, and cocktails, as well as all the insider tips you need for the best visit. Okay, so let's get right into it. Both of you are Disney scholars and experts, okay? And I'm going to Disney for the first time, let's say. What are the things I need to drink? And this would actually be my second time because I went as a toddler and I don't remember. I was just chasing the pigeons around.
What did you drink then? I want to know what you drank then.
This box, I don't know. But returning as an adult, let's say I buy my ticket. What do I need to drink? Where do I need to go?
I'm going to defer to AJ to start off with because she is the foremost expert and I'm a background expert.
This is untrue. I am going to, I'll take it though. I'll take the coin flip. I'm going to start out with something people wouldn't expect. So all the Disney adults listening to this podcast are going to be like, AJ's going to say go to Epcot. I'm going to say go to Disney Springs. Disney Springs, I think, is where the innovation is happening when it comes to drinks and cocktails and mixology right now. There's so much good stuff going on there. You got Wine Bar George, where you can actually get alcohol by the ounce. You can get like wines by the ounce, like really fancy schmancy wines that you're never going to drink because you can't afford them. You can get those by the ounce and try them.
You actually stole my talking point, so I'm mad I let you go first. You have that listed.
Listen, you told me to go
for the
first.
ounce, one for the Okay. Go
All right,
on.
so stop talking.
No,
Now that I've stolen Shay's talking point.
no. Great tip.
No, keep going. So Disney Springs and that. Can you explain what Disney Springs is to me?
Disney Springs is kind of the shopping and dining district for Disney World. So you don't need a ticket to get there. It's totally free to go. But there are a lot of third-party restaurants there that Disney doesn't own. And so they're doing all kinds of cool stuff with mixology, trying some things that are out of the box. And so I just judged a bartender contest at the Edison a couple weeks ago, which was really interesting because they were trying the craziest stuff, including like things that might even explode. And we weren't really sure if they were going to. Anyway, it was wild. It was so much fun. And so there's a lot of bartenders in the Orlando area that are at the top of their game and doing some cool stuff.
Disney Springs. Okay, Shay, it seems like you were potentially also going to say that.
Well, okay, look, I'm actually just going to take it in the totally opposite direction and say, okay, you're the first time going to Disney in a long time. You're probably going to go to Magic Kingdom. You're going to go to the parks. And so I'm going to say you have to get, this isn't wine related, but you do have to get a Dole Whip with a rum floater I like the one at Tamu Tamu in Animal Kingdom. You can also get it at the Polynesian Resort, which is just a quick boat ride away from the Magic Kingdom if you want to pop over. They don't serve that in the Magic Kingdom, but there's a lot. I just think that's like a fun sort of starter drink if you're like wanting to get excited about Disney and have like a classic item and you want it to be a little bit boozy.
And so you can add a floater to Dole Whip?
Yes. And AJ probably knows more places. I know that Tamu Tamu and at Pineapple Lanai in the Polynesian those are my sources. AJ,
Yeah, Trader Sam's at the
Trader Sam's.
Polynesian has the spiky they call it the spiky pineapple, which I think is one of the best names for a drink ever. And then you can also get kind of spiked Dole Whip over in Disney Springs. There's a place called Swirls on the Water that is Dole Whip centric over there, and they will
Yes.
have a different Dole Whip drink like every couple of months, like Dole Whip margaritas and Dole Whip sangria and stuff like that. So if you want your Dole Whip spiked, you can definitely get it in Disney World.
There are lots of
Amazing.
options, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that's, like, a fun starter. I have a few other ones. I am gonna take us to Epcot briefly, because Epcot is, the center of the Disney drinking universe, I would say.
Mhm.
And one kind of underrated cocktail I like there is called the Moroccan Mule from Spice Road Table, and it's basically it's like a Moscow Mule, but they use a, like, Mediterranean fig-infused vodka, so it gives it just a little bit of sweetness with, like, the tanginess from the ginger beer.
Wow.
It's, like, just so easily drinkable, and I love that in a drink, but that's one of my favorite little hidden gems when you're drinking around the world.
And does Epcot have a happy hour? And if not, what are we talking price-wise?
I don't think a lot of them do.
The
Not
only
even the
happy hours
ones
you will find it the only happy hours you will find, I think, are at Disney
Disney
Springs,
Springs. Mhm.
and I've done a happy hour crawl there before, which is pretty fun. Epcot, we're looking, what, 16, 18, $20 a drink?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Like,
It's gonna
kind of
be
like New
high.
York City. It's kinda like what I'm used to.
Right, I don't actually think it's hugely different from what you're gonna find in larger cities, and actually, I've been traveling a lot lately. There's a couple of cities that I'm like, "Wow, this is even more expensive than Disney," which you don't usually expect. But another idea in Epcot, if you're going for the first time and you happen to be going in the fall, go to the Food and Wine Festival because this is like a lot of different little booths around Epcot. There's lots of different wines, beers, and cocktails that you can try from a lot of different kind of global cultures. They're going to be more base, I think. They're gonna be more in the mainstream in terms of what they're choosing, but if you wanna try a lot of different stuff on the same day, that's a good choice because 'cause they'll also have flights, so you can try several beers at a time, several wines at a time from a particular country or a particular cultural area. So that's
Wow.
kinda fun too.
So the different countries have wines and beers from that country?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
it's
cool.
like talking it's so funny, sometimes we do these with people that know so much about Disney, and I find it more fun to do with people that don't know about Disney because I feel much more authoritative.
I just want you to come with us, like, "Come with
No, you
us.
I'm
have to,
sold.
I've been trying for years.
I
Let's
know.
go."
I'm sold, and, I heard about the new, Beacon Barrel bar, which we
Yes.
published a story on, which is the new Pirates of the Caribbean bar. Have either of you been?
I have not been yet. My
I haven't
team's
yet.
been
No, I tried to get a reservation last time I
I
was
know
there.
I
I
did
couldn't get a
too.
reservation.
I couldn't either.
Actually, okay, I lied. I did get a reservation, and it was for 10 AM, and I didn't
Oh.
make it because I was at Halloween Horror Nights till 3 AM the night before, so it just,
Yeah, you can't do
um,
that.
sometimes that's just how it happens. But I do think that it's a monumental thing. I mean, there's a whole history about drinking in the Magic Kingdom and not drinking in the Magic Kingdom, and whether that was like what Walt Disney would have wanted. And really, if you think about the evolution in the past decade of like drinking at Disney, that's probably the biggest major development is Magic Kingdom having mostly beer and wine, sometimes alcohol at all of their sit-down restaurants,
Yeah.
table service restaurants, as they call 'em.
So Magic Kingdom used to not have any booze.
Right, it was dry. Disneyland was dry as well, except for Club 33. Disney World introduced booze at Be Our Guest restaurant in 2012 when New Fantasyland opened, and that was the first time you could get alcohol in Magic Kingdom. And it was huge news. Oh my gosh, massive. And they tried to like tuck it under. They tried to not make it big news. and, and we're all just like, wait a minute.
No, they did. They did, yeah.
They tried to not make it a huge deal. Oh, it was wild. But something that I find interesting about Beacon Barrel is that something else that we're finding about Disney lately is they're opening a lot of bars and not as many restaurants. So you're seeing a lot of lounges open. Beacon Barrel, Geo 82, and Epcot, which is their first adults only lounge in a park, which is a huge deal, I think, like that they're giving prime real estate in the base of the icon of this park to adults only. Hello, Disney adults. That's, they're recognizing that so clearly that we're taking over the parks. But and then you've also got Oga's Cantina in the Two Galaxies Edges. So they really are starting to open lounges instead of restaurants, which I think is super interesting too.
Do you think the demographic of who's going to Disney is changing and it's more adults?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yep. Absolutely. There's more adults without children in the park than there are adults with children.
Wow. Why? Wow. You're blowing my mind right now.
Well,
Okay.
it's true.
I think it is. I mean, a lot of people will say social media culture and more people just like realizing the options that you have to do there without kids. I mean, particularly Walt Disney World, like you have all the resorts, you have Disney Springs, as she said, and there are just so many different ways you can do Disney without kids and
Without it
or with
having to be kid
like
centric.
it's just the possibilities are endless. So I think that especially with TikTok, Instagram, things like that, like a lot more adults have put it on their vacation bucket list.
And culturally, adults we're not having kids anymore. The number of kids on average people are having is dropping drastically globally at the moment and also in the United States. And so you're seeing a lot of people in the millennial and Gen Z generations who don't have kids and aren't intending to have kids. And so they have all this extra money that they are going to put towards these nostalgic endeavors that they loved when they were kids but couldn't afford to do what they really wanted to do with it. So Disney is becoming like a new focus for these grown-ups that have expendable income.
Mm. I'm curious, what is your Disney beverage hot take? Spicy opinions, unexpected opinions about Disney drinks.
I'm excited to see what Shay says.
Well, okay, I don't know if this is even a hot take, is that most of them are not good. Like
Thank you for
I
keeping it
you drink
real.
around the world at Epcot, and if you don't know, go in with a plan or like do your research ahead of time about like drinks that you might like. You can end up with some real clunkers. And I don't mean to say that I think that could happen anywhere based on your personal taste, but like a lot of them are like way too sweet for me. So like if I am gonna do an Epcot, I can't drink it every country around the world anymore. But if I am, I'm like, I know these specific ones are like great for my taste. And I know there are if I go off script, I'm probably not gonna like it. But I want AJ to say a hot take.
Yeah, I wanna hear your hot take, AJ.
Well, I wanna build on Shay's hot take too, is that I've always had kind of a joke and with my YouTube audience that if it doesn't have blue curacao, it's not a Disney drink.
Yeah, yeah, they
Because
love
like
that.
they all have blue curacao. They're getting better though as they bring in these third-party operators. And you've got La Cava del Tequila in Epcot, which actually is pretty solid on their tequila and mezcal choices.
I've never had a
Um,
bad drink there, I do wanna clarify. Well, maybe
yeah,
once, but they do a great operation there.
they really, but again, third-party operators. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Ah.
But my hot take is that I am relatively basic in my drink desires. And one of my very favorite things to get, this is traditional when I arrive in Disney World, I will go to the Polynesian and I will get the Lapu Lapu, which is a giant pineapple with a bunch of rum in it. And it's literally how I start every Disney vacation. And it just screams vacation to me. So again, there's that other nostalgia. Is it sexy? Is it high end? No, it's a giant pineapple with a bunch of rum, but I absolutely love it. So don't basically you don't have to be fancy. You're at Disney World, so drink what you want.
Totally, and it's pretty strong, so it'll get you off to a good start.
It's pretty strong.
But, speaking of fancy, from what I understand, there are really high-end dining and drinking options at Disney now. And is that a kind of a relatively new thing as well?
I don't think it's new, but it's more prevalent. Disney's always had great wine lists at their fancier restaurants, but in order to get solid alcohol choices that, again, aren't just a bunch of blue curacao and Sprite, at more places at to-go locations, places you don't just sit down and look at a wine list kind of thing, that's, I think, more prevalent, and I think
Hmm,
that's newer over the last 10 years.
interesting. So if I'm walking around the park, can I stop somewhere and get a wine and walk around with it?
Yeah.
Everywhere
Except
but
for at
Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom, you can. Magic Kingdom, you have to sit
I see.
and, maybe have
Order.
a little appetizer or something. AJ talked about trying a bunch of different sort of global wines at the Food and Wine Festival, which is awesome. But there are also there's a way to do that in a super fancy way if you want to try a bunch of different fancy restaurants and have wines from all around the world. Like I think of Jico at Animal Kingdom Lodge has an amazing, very extensive South African wine list. If you want California wines, you can go to California Grill at the Contemporary Resort. So it's like you could kind of if you're there for a week, do really nice dinners and try wines from all over the world and have really nice dinners at the same time. If you want to spend a ton of money, but
But you could just go to the little bars in at those restaurants and just have wines. You don't even have to order food if you don't want to.
Oh, so that's kind of an interesting tip. Like a lot of these restaurants, there's like a bar component that you
Yeah.
can stop
yes.
at.
Most of the fancy ones, yes, they will have a lounge or just a bar waiting area kind of thing that you can order from their full wine list there.
Wow. And you saying happy hour is kind of not really a thing.
They don't need it to be. Yeah,
They don't
they
need
don't they
it.
don't need to run it.
Yeah, they do. I think most of the Disney Springs restaurants do some sort of happy hour. So if you wanted to do that, actually, I just posted about this one. AJ, help me. What's the this Italian restaurant at Disney Springs that no one ever talks about?
Terralina?
Terralina. Terralina.
Terralina crafted Italian.
Terralina.
Yes.
Okay. I went there last time. There was nothing open. They were the last ones open. And I figured out they do a late night wine and pizza roll happy hour. So you can get the pizza roll. They make pizza rolls with all
Whoa.
leftover pizza dough, and they're so delicious. And it's half off all wines from 9 to 11 p.m., which for Disney, that's late. So that was one of the coolest little gems I found recently that I think that your audience could get on board with.
That's amazing. And on the topic of hidden gems that people don't talk about enough, AJ, do you have any of those for drinking?
Oh, absolutely. The one that Shay's story just reminded me of is over at a brand new restaurant in Disney Springs called Summer House on the Lake, which is actually a chain. A lot of these are chains. They have a martini happy hour, and it is excellently priced. It's like $10 martinis and then $3 appetizers. It's crazy. And so that I would say is a definite must. And then a lot of these places have good brunches too with bottomless mimosas and things like that. So that's kind of fun as well. But some of the Disney Springs restaurants have two happy hours. So they've got one earlier and like Shay said, some have some at later at night as well. So yeah, Disney Springs is a place to go if you want, cheap liquor.
Yeah.
This is great intel. I should go, right?
Yeah, you should totally go. We're going. Anyways,
We
next
have to
question.
go.
It's settled.
Where do you see cocktail culture and wine culture at Disney going in the next 10 years? How do you see it evolving?
I think it depends on if people start drinking again. I think that the data is showing that Gen Z is not drinking as much, maybe as millennials or Gen X did, and so right now at Disney, you can get a lot of mocktails. You can get a lot of stuff that you can get spiked or not, right? And so that's probably going to keep happening. You're going to see that go a little bit more in that direction of everywhere is going to have mocktail options that aren't just lemonade and Sprite. They're going to have something interesting in there. And so I think you're going to see that more often probably. But again, like I said, they keep opening lounges instead of restaurants. And that's always going to make them more money. So I think that they're going to keep going in that direction. Like I'm interested to see when they open these new lands in Magic Kingdom, Villains Land, Cars Land. I bet you Villains Land has like 2 bars and maybe one little restaurant,
I
like
require that. I need a villain's bar. I
yeah,
absolutely need
exactly. So I'm interested to see kind of what evolves there. Is are they going to kind of make sure you keep having well, even like Wailulu, Shay, over in Island Tower, that's primarily a bar for all intents and
yeah.
purposes.
The banana old fashioned is delicious there.
The what old
gosh.
fashioned?
Banana old fashioned. It's become
Wow.
like, and I hate banana, but it doesn't have that. Like it's like when someone was like, you have to get that. And I was like, I really don't want to, like, please. And I did it and I liked it. And so if I liked it, it must be good. That's a really cool place. And yeah, it is a restaurant. And to your point, it does feel more loungy though. Like I don't see a ton more fine dining restaurants opening up in Disney anytime soon. I think they're
Mm-mm.
kind of like they have enough of that. And I just in my last trip did go to Geo 82 and I just felt that's the one at Epcot. And I just felt like, wow, this is like such a necessary addition. It not only gets you out of the heat, you don't have to drink if you don't want to. You have like bites, you can have a mocktail. It's just like I think that especially with more adults going on their own, just spaces like that don't necessarily have to be like entertaining, but are like cool enough and just a good like kind of like respite from the craziness of the parks. I think that's
Mhm. They
huge.
give you scented cooling towels when you
My
get
gosh,
there.
I was in it. I went like in the dead of August, and when that towel came to me, I said, "You are sent from heaven." It was just the most
Why don't
perfect
they give us scented cooling towels
everywhere.
everywhere we go? Like, ugh, amazing. Of course I'm gonna go spend more money if you give me a scented cooling towel.
Exactly, preferably eucalyptus, and like,
Mm. And do
yeah,
Most of these places require reservations or a good amount you can just pop on in?
a lot of it is reservations, especially
Yeah.
as they open
The new ones are.
now. Like it's hard
Mhm.
to get reservations, and
So,
as
like, Beak and Barrel is probably highly coveted.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, but there are some good, hidden gem lounges in the hotels that a lot of people don't know about that aren't reservations. So, like, you go to, Enchanted Rose in the Grand Floridian, that's an interesting little, well, it's a big, I guess, lounge, that has a lot of great places to just settle in, kick back, and enjoy, and you can get food, you can get drinks, obviously, but people don't know about it and they don't go there. So going to the hotels is a good option, but heads up, they're not going to let you park there
no,
unless you're
you
staying
have a
there or you
reservation.
have
You
a
can have a reservation.
reservation. Yeah,
Um,
but you're going to have to probably take Disney transportation to get there, like buses or monorails if
I see.
you yeah.
but I also think that's a fun tip at like, let's say you're at the end of a park day and
Yes.
you wanna go have a drink somewhere or a light
Mhm.
bite, or like you didn't really eat that you didn't eat that much at the park. I'll always, I'm at the Magic Kingdom, hop on a ferry right over to Grand Floridian. You can go to Enchanted Rose right there and, have a nice little drink and
Yeah.
a bite. I
It's a
think
Yeah.
that's the
great tip.
perfect way to end a park day, and you kind of, like, avoid the total chaos of, like, of just the end of
The end
I
of
try
the
to leave
day.
before the before the fireworks are totally
Mhm.
done, and then you get ahead of the story a little bit.
Yep.
Do the
Yep.
fireworks happen every single night?
Yes, they do.
Yes.
For real?
In
Yeah,
multiple parks, not just one fireworks show.
and there are certain restaurants where you can watch the fireworks from, and they stream in the music.
Where is the best place to drink and watch the fireworks?
Oh, good question.
For me, Narcoossee's, it's at the
Really?
Grand Floridian. I love it there because, well, I really like the bartender there. His name's Jason. Tell
Hi,
him I sent
Jason.
you. Tell tell him I sent you. And he makes this espresso martini that has a mascarpone foam on top. So it's like a
Yum.
really nice, it's kind of like a tiramisu espresso martini. And it's so good. And it's like very casual. They do pipe in the music, and you're on the same level as you would be at the Magic Kingdom. So you can really see the fireworks. Other people might like, say, California Grill, where you're elevated a bit and you can see more of the whole park. I
Mhm.
just like the food and drinks at Narcoossee's better, though, personally. Now, AJ, you go.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think it's a really good a really good point that a lot of people will frequent lounges based on the bartender because the bartenders usually stick around for a long time and they are phenomenal. And so you tend to kind of get the connection with your bartender, and so you wanna go back to that particular place. So that's a fun little note for, Disney adults, like, who's your favorite bartender, but
No.
you can also see the fireworks while you're eating from Epcot too. There's a couple of places where you can actually book a fireworks dining package at Spice Road Table, which Shay mentioned earlier, and at Rose and Crown, which is the British restaurant. So you can go and they'll give you a specific table that has a view of the fireworks. And so you're not having to battle. Used to be you had to battle everybody else in the park that night to try to get those tables. And it
Or
was, it
take
was
it out like 3 hours ahead and
God, it
just
was like the Hunger Games. It's so bad. But now you can actually they let you pay more and get the table. So,
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to be talking to you two. The amount of intel is okay. Oh, but one final important question. You talk about bartenders being such an important part of the experience and that they tend to stick around. I'm scared of the characters.
mm, mhm.
If I
They're not bartending.
There's
they don't
never a
get behind a
situation
bar.
where
No,
a character is bartending.
you're not gonna have
No, although
spend
that would
it
be
all
phenomenal.
to fish. I wish.
I would love that so
The
much.
optics of that for Disney, I don't think they want that, those photo opportunities.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
what if in the villains bar, the villains bartend? What if, like,
see, that's
Hades
me, that feels fine to me.
Hades is
Why?
bartending, why wouldn't he?
Wait, and so when is the villains land opening?
Who can say?
So
Yeah.
it's TBD.
They're just, like, getting us really hyped, and they won't tell us for a
Got it.
long, they'll give you do they have a year yet?
No, they've got nothing.
They don't
They're
even
just
have a
moving a
year.
lot of dirt. They're moving a lot of dirt around back there, and they're building a lot of porta potties at the moment. That's all.
But you're kind of expecting this to be a kind of a drinking hotspot with potentially some lounge
Well, I hope
options.
so. I hope so. Why wouldn't they? That's
Makes sense.
perfect.
And I think with the Beacon Barrel coming to Magic Kingdom, they sort of have broken that
Yeah.
precedent. They've broken that, like, wall of having just strictly lounges, which is just something so new that tells me that that's a direction they're moving with that, and definitely with Villains Land, it just makes sense.
And that actually reminds me to ask you, you sort of said that. Why has it taken them so long to have a lounge in Magic Kingdom?
Because Walt would roll over in his grave.
So people will really tell you that.
The people will riot. Because Walt wanted his parks to be dry. So Disneyland was dry until Oga's Cantina came in 2019. Magic Kingdom was dry until 2012, and you still can't get a walk around drink in Magic Kingdom. And so everybody has associated that with Uncle Walt's values, and it would just be anathema to have alcohol in the Magic Kingdom. So it very much goes back to people thinking that Walt was all about family values and this is what he would want. And so there's old school folks who will just riot if
I
but
also do think that it's important to put that in the context of the time that he was living in,
oh,
where
totally.
amusement parks were, like, not a kiddie thing necessarily. Like, you would bring your family, but it was like a kind of a crazy carnival, lots of drunkards, and his vision was to have a place that you can bring your
I
family
see.
and not be. So, like, the idea of an amusement park back then was way different than we see it now.
Mm, mm. But now most of the fandom is happy to have the option. would you
I would
say?
say so.
I would say so, absolutely. I again, they're moving it in so slowly that it's kind of like boiling the frog. Like we're all like everybody who would be upset sees it's not that big a deal. Everybody's okay. There's not a bunch of, you know, weirdos roaming around trying to steal your children because they've drank too much. So it's all
And
good.
I would argue, like, I know people talk about Epcot drinking around the world being really rowdy, which it can get towards the end of the night, certain groups of people.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know if you feel this, AJ, I feel like it's gotten better.
Yeah.
I think
Well, again, I don't
almost
think
like
people
5
are
or
drink
10 years. Yeah,
I don't
well,
think
maybe
people
it's
are drinking that much.
maybe people aren't drinking, or I don't know. It's just like, I feel like maybe 5 or 10 years ago, you would really get rowdiness in like a gross way that I didn't like. And I just haven't seen that nearly as much, which
Mhm.
I prefer. I like to drink. I'm a drinker, but I don't like to see like bar fights at the Rose and Crown. You know,
I would like to see that.
I've
Um
seen it. I've seen it.
But I agree with you. I really don't. And I think, you can find whatever you're looking for. And
Right.
so I think that's another thing too is that, if people want to complain about it, they'll find something to complain about. But I've personally I haven't really ever seen I've seen some bachelorette parties that are a little wild.
Yeah.
People
Um
bachelorette at Disney?
oh God, yes, with matching t-shirts.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
Stresses me out. I'm stressed. Well, I want to thank you both for coming on and chatting with me. I have a lot of ideas, Shay. We got to go this year, next year.
Gotta go.
Gotta
Yes.
get in.
what?
AJ's
Oh, and
coming.
AJ.
AJ's coming too.
AJ's coming. Yes. Do you have a favorite drink at Disney? We'd love to know. You can email us your comments and questions at podcast@wineenthusiast.com. Remember, you can subscribe to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, and anywhere else you listen to your favorite shows. You can also go to wineenthusiast.com/podcast for more episodes and transcripts. I'm Maria Yagoda. Thanks for listening.